Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
May I present to you the cat?
I am Nadella. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing.
Welcome, everyone, to the No Windows Required podcast, where we talk about how to get Microsoft out of your life.
Landon, this is the Calling All Platforms podcast. This is the one we do with Wes.
Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Dang it. It's
Wes,
not Monday.
Wes is here. Yeah.
Oops. Sorry,
We gotta
Wes.
go back.
Sorry.
We'll make it happen. That was pretty good, though. Don't talk about Windows. I mean, no one else wants to either. Don't worry. Anyway, welcome everyone to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I am here with Landon
Hello.
and Caleb.
Hi. This is, listener, sorry. You may have thought you turned in for mine and Landon's other podcast. That comes out tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
That's
That
why
was-
we
that
record
was totally
behind
interesting.
Wes's back about getting rid of Microsoft.
I mean, a lot of people would agree with you to do that.
Poor Windows 11.
Poor dude. I just as you said that, I just got a pop-up on my Windows 10. I'm not kidding. Just said, hey, just so you know, Windows 10 on October does not get the thing, so you should probably upgrade. Just now, look, like, God dang it, go away.
So actually, here in a couple of weeks, we're going to be able to bring Wes onto the other podcast as a guest to talk about how he's getting Windows out of his life.
Jeez. Like, no kidding. Anywho, we're here to talk about all things tech, including Windows, even though we don't want to. But first, we have something on the docket here. Nintendo had a Direct. They had that Direct we talked about a long time ago that they announced. I'm going to be honest, I watched some of it, but I skipped a lot to points that I might be interested in. To be
Yeah.
honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, what? I don't know. We were hoping to get a ton of details about the Switch 2, launch date, price,
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
some specs or something.
Anything?
No, not really.
No.
But your digital games are now on digital game cards on Switch. So, you're welcome.
I did see this feature, and as one that has multiple Switches in the house,
yeah.
And in the family plan, I'm kind of like,
You
okay,
are
I want
the
to see
use
how
case for this. Yeah.
right. I want to see how this works exactly, because I feel like it would be nice, because instead of me being signed into two different Switches, all I have to say is, hey, send this to this one or send it to this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see how it works. Now, the downside to this, and I don't know if it's a downside, I'll have to see how it works before. The benefit of me being signed into two Switches is we only have to buy the game once, and then both Switches can play. So does this one make it to where the other one can't? Or, I'm assuming that it won't, but we'll see. So does that make sense, Landon? You gave me a weird look.
Well, the way this is basically the only thing I know about what came out of Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Because it actually is intriguing to me. And from what I understand, it's basically just if you were to pull the game card out of, like, the physical game card out and put it in someone else's, that's what it is. It's like it's your game, but it's on a different Switch. And so someone can more or less borrow it, is what at least that's how it sounded to me.
Sort of, right? So, you can, inside of your family, if you have, how exactly did they describe it? It's like if you're signed in on multiple Switches right now, you're the signed in user, then any games you have bought digitally, you can play on all those devices. if you have people inside of your family group now, you can eject the game out of your Switch that you're signed into to put it into their Switch so that they can play it.
Right.
Which has to, like, the two Switches, you have to be with each other, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to connect on Wi-Fi to the Switches have to be able to connect to each other in order for this to work, which makes a certain amount of sense. They're just saying, like, yeah, you have to be with this person. And then it's valid for like 14 days.
Yeah.
It's valid for 2 weeks, and then it auto ejects. It keeps the save data so that if you loan it back to them or they buy the game, they still have their save and that kind of thing. So that all is pretty similar to just like, yeah, you handed them the card, they stuck it in, they played for a couple of weeks, they gave it back to you. That's the experience, right? It's only with people that are in your family, though.
Is it?
Like, I'm pretty sure that you have to be in the family with the people in order to do that. Like, they won't let you just do it with random, or maybe it was just that you had to be friends with them.
I think. Oh, geez. Now I'm second.
I can't remember. It was one of those two.
This article I'm seeing on IGN it does say lending between members in your Nintendo family group.
Yeah, and I think it says you can have up to 9 people.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's a significant amount of people to have in your own group. And it wouldn't be hard to add and subtract people as you go.
Yeah, I don't think it's that difficult to change the members. Like, I think once you add somebody, once you take somebody off, there's a certain amount of time that has to elapse before you can add them back on or something like that.
That makes sense.
But, I don't think it's too difficult to add and remove people from your family group. It's a reasonably sized family group. And for the most part, like, let's be honest, as a person who has shared games with people in the past, if somebody's borrowing a game, like, I'm not just straight up giving the game to them, odds are pretty good that it's somebody in my family or somebody that is a close enough friend that it would not be a stretch for them to be in my quote unquote family on like Steam or something like that.
Right.
So I can kind of see where Nintendo's coming from on this. It's not as open as just the physical cards where you can sell those, like you could sell it to somebody else. They could have it used, but it's better than nothing, it's not quite as good as Steam. Like, I like Steam's sharing like paradigm a little bit better. You can have shared libraries and you can share them with people who are not part of your quote unquote family on Steam. They can just be shared with like anybody on your friend group. I'm pretty sure they just restrict it so that only one person can ever be playing the game at a time, which makes sense. But so it's not quite that good, but it sure is better than nothing, which is what it was before.
Well, I just love the fact that you don't like we were saying, Wes, like, you've got multiple Switches, but you kind of have to be signed in to multiple Switches in order to play the games that you've bought. Whereas this makes it so, like, if you wanted to have a kid's separate account on one Switch, you can do that, and then just here's the game you can use for the time being, and then you can borrow it, for lack of a better term, every 2 weeks or however often.
Yeah.
Which I do really. I think this is actually a really cool idea. I do think, like Caleb was saying, I think there's ways that could improve, but overall, it's a really interesting way to get past the whole digital games, lack of physical card type situation that everyone's going to nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep.
So far, I think all of us agree this is good. A good thing. So then they had a lot of different games that they were showing off. And then looks like next thing on here says Switch 2 rumors. I didn't see.
Yeah. So this is a specific rumor that, there are a bunch of rumors. People have been talking about what the theoretical price of the thing could be. Somebody said $500. I'm like, no, it better not be. I'm sorry. They try to, like, here's the thing. People would buy it for $500, but that is too much. But Like, I'm sorry, I get a PlayStation for that money, not a Switch.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not, these are not comparable hardware, Nintendo. But there was one rumor that I really like, which is that when the Switch 2 launches, you could be able to take your old Switch, right, your first Switch, and use that as a controller for your Switch 2, with the screen acting as an input device alongside the actual Joy-Cons, meaning that your Switch 2 would be a Wii U. That's exactly what that was. It was console displaying on the TV with a gamepad that had a screen in the middle. So
True.
you could bring back all of those second screen Wii U games on the Switch 2, so long as the person playing it also has a Switch 1 to pair with it. And as ridiculous as that sounds, listener, this is Nintendo we're talking about, and they actually have a history of this. This would not be the first time. Obviously, they had the gamepad on the Wii U, which was a thing and was a little bit strange, but you could also use, I think, the DS and 3DS as controllers for certain, I think it was Mario. No, was it Mario Party? I think it was Smash Bros. Actually, you could use a DS as a gamepad on a Wii U to play Smash Bros. If you owned Smash Bros. On the DS, as well as on the Wii U.
That's
So
cool.
that was a thing. And then back in the GameCube days, they had an attachment for the GameCube that would play Game Boy Advanced games. Like, you just dock it to the bottom of the GameCube and you could put the Game Boy Advance games in there and play them on the GameCube. And you could plug your Game Boy Advance into the GameCube with a special cable to use as a controller for those games. So this is not a wholly unexpected or unlikely turn of events for Nintendo specifically. So who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. That's interesting. I like that rumor, actually.
Yeah. I thought that
Very
was kind of
Nintendo-y.
funny. I was just like, this is such a weird thing to do with a previous generation console, but also it's kind of a Super Nintendo thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
And it makes a lot of sense, because I do think there's going to be a significant amount of people that do have a Switch, even like it's the very first, they bought it when it first came out. They're going to buy a second one, and that's going to be theirs. And then the old one goes to their kids, and they could still utilize this type of situation if they wanted to, if they have the games for it. So I don't think it's an interesting idea, but it's not necessarily a bad idea. And it's a way to, quote unquote, resell Wii U games in the Nintendo Online stuff, because
they may very well do that. Like,
if this end up coming to fruition, I guarantee they're going to be trying to $10. You get 5 different Wii U games from back in the day.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, and I mean, the Wii U and the Switch have basically the same hardware.
Yeah.
So, like, so many of the Switch games in the first couple of years of the Switch's life were just ports of Wii U titles that nobody bought and played because nobody had Wii U's. That Nintendo was all like, well, we're going to make money off of it somehow, put it on the Switch. And, and it worked. And so now they're going to be able to turn around and be like, hey, remember that second screen experience for Mario Kart 8? No, you don't. Nobody bought the Wii U, but here it is.
Yeah. That's amazing. All right. Well, that's kind of the end of the Nintendo Direct that we wanted to talk about. If you want to check it out, I mean, they did have, like I said, a lot of different games. They did say that they're adding more music to the Nintendo Music app, and then they're going to have their own news app as well on there. But that's
great, Nintendo. That's definitely what we all wanted from you.
Yeah. So there's those things. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to go to some Google news here. We're going to talk about the Pixel 9a has a new release date.
Yeah. So, listener, last week we mentioned how the Pixel 9a was announced, and then they made it so you couldn't pre-order the thing because of some sort of issue that also has not been talked about yet. So that's fun. But they have announced a new date of when it will be available to purchase. And that date is April 10th. Now, that is only going to be for the US, Canada, and the UK. So, if you're in one of those countries, you can pre-order on the 10th. And then on the 14th of April, you'll be able to get it in basically, based on this list, most of the European countries that would gonna have it are gonna get it on the 14th. And then on the 16th, it will be coming to Australia, India, Singapore, Taiwan, and Malaysia. And so it's kind of a staggered release. I don't know exactly why they're doing this, but they're doing that. And again, they haven't mentioned why they did the delayed release in the first place. So there's still questions on that. And then they did also say it is coming to Japan, but that is listed as coming soon. So there's no date on that one yet. So just, it's so interesting. As much as I want to really, really like this phone, there's just so many questions around it that's like, come on, do I really want to recommend it right now? Or do I want to wait for a month to see what actually happens with this phone after people get it? Is it going to blow up like the Note 7, or is it something less crazy? I don't know.
I suspect that the reason for the staggered rollout is because whatever this issue that they found was in fact hardware, and they have figured out a manufacturing process to take all of the existing units and fix the issue and respin them without having to rebuild them from the ground up. And so the staggered rollout is to address the fact that it takes time to do that.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have enough phones to do these markets first, and then these markets, and then these markets. You know, they're going to slowly kind of roll it out so that they don't have an NVIDIA style situation where the thing goes live and there's 10 phones available at every store and that's it. And, there are no more. And sucks to be you. We sold more in the first 5 weeks than we did of the last version. I don't know what you're all complaining about.
Yeah, 10 phones in stores and then nothing online.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Now, listener, there is no NVIDIA news this week. So that I had to get that in there somewhere. had to whine about NVIDIA somewhere.
That's funny. All right, well, we'll go ahead and move on. We have some general tech news. A PSA for the 23andMe users.
Yeah, listener, if by some chance you haven't been on the internet for the past couple weeks and haven't heard about this, that's amazing. Good for you. Good for getting out and doing something with your life.
Yeah.
If you have gotten on the internet or anywhere for that matter, you've probably heard about this, but 23andMe has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and they, at the moment, it doesn't seem like they want to just sell things off, but that's what it's going to lead to. Everyone is like, that's probably where it's going. So
that's what Chapter 11 is.
Yeah,
is
pretty
like
much.
The company starts selling off bits and pieces of themselves in order to pay off their creditors.
Yeah.
And what does 23andMe have to sell off? Your data.
Your DNA data. So there are ways you can get online and delete any information that they have. And all you really have to do is just get on any browser and search for 23andMe delete account. You will find a long list of articles telling you how to do this. But just so you're aware, you should do that. You should definitely do that because, yes, 23andMe was probably more or less relatively safe with what data they had. But whoever they sell it to might not be and probably won't be.
Yeah, probably
So
won't be.
you're going to want to go and delete everything you possibly can from your account and then fully delete your account afterwards because that's really the closest way you're going to come to not having this information sold to your insurance company, maybe, because that could happen very, very likely.
Yep.
I don't think 23andMe will sell it to an insurance company, but whoever they sell it to probably will for a very hefty price tag.
Jeez.
And then you're going to find out pretty quickly how many quote unquote genetic things you have that are justification for a pre-existing condition, and you're never going to get covered by health insurance ever again.
Yep. So
just one possible horror story that could come out of this. I've never been more happy to not have jumped on a fad.
Yeah, I really wanted to. Like, there were certain things that 23andMe provided that I'm like, actually, that would be kind of good to know, but I never did. And I am actually really glad that I never did at this point.
So glad I didn't do that.
Yeah. So just so you're aware, listener, go delete that information if you've done anything with 23andMe, please.
Please. Do yourself a favor. Okay. We're going to move on to some gaming news. I've got a couple things I wanted to mention, if you are not aware of. First things first, PC Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate are getting more in-game benefits. So what benefits are we talking about? Well, in addition to existing game benefits for, say, like Genshin Impact, League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, Overwatch 2, Teamfight Tactics, Valorant, Heroes of the Storm, Naraka, I hope I say that correctly, Naraka Blade Point, Smite 2, The Finals, and in the end of April, it will include Asphalt Legends Unite, Call of Duty Warzone, Enlist, and War Thunder. All these benefits, they've got a bunch of lists of benefits for this. So, for example, if you remember, there's a game called Heroes of the Storm. If you link your account, if you have PC Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, you link your Battle.net account, you'll get all the heroes unlocked for you. You'll get in-game currency for Overwatch 2, plus their I think it's their mythic currency for like the mythic skins and all that. You get all that. Plus you get bonus to all XP for all these games. And little things you get inside the games for having this. These are all the new perks that are coming out and whatnot, which sweet. More and more things like this, I think, is good.
Yeah, I thought Heroes of the Storm was dead.
Nope. I mean, it's there.
I mean, yeah, but didn't they stop doing active development on it? So this is just kind of like...
Actually, it got a patch. What was it? The other day? Probably a few months ago. They've been patching it still.
Huh. But they're not like adding content to it. It's just like...
I don't know.
Maintenance patches
let's
and
just
stuff
leave
like
it.
that.
We'll just say we don't know, but it's been in the news cycles recently. Heroes of the Storm. So we'll see what happens.
Interesting.
It will be interesting if all of a sudden Master Chief shows up next to Rainer and Diablo.
What?
But and it comes. I mean, that's a good game to go on a console as well, too. So
yeah,
who knows?
Interesting.
But yeah, they've been expanding out for the benefits and the perks. It used to be like they'd have like one really good perk, like a Sea of Thieves perk if you wanted, and then all of a sudden these other little not really anybody heard of games perks. So and now like they're kind of bringing up some big games, so it's kind of cool to see, to finally be like, sweet, I get some stuff for just being a Game Pass member, so that's kind of cool. I wanted to mention that so you can take a look. So if you play any of those games, I know the Finals, that one came out, was it this last year, and it finally has come to Game Pass with some stuff. So I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Overwatch, obviously, you know how we feel about that one. Caleb hates it. I don't mind it.
It's less that I hate it and more that I hate how they did everything leading up to it.
True.
Like Overwatch 2 is a bed of broken promises. And if they had kept any of those promises, I would love it. If they hadn't made any of those promises, I wouldn't mind it. You know, it's just like it exists. It cannot exist separate from what it was supposed to be. And it is not that. And I'm still upset about it. And also, I paid $40 for the first game. Freaking Blizzard. Why don't I have it anymore?
It's the Apple Intelligence of the gaming world.
Yikes. Ouch.
Ooh. That's right, Blizzard. On that.
All right. So take a look at that if you want to see any more perks like that. They usually come out monthly for different ones if you want to check that out. This next one, man, names are hard in tech, but we're going to say it. The Xbox Backbone 1 Xbox Edition.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Okay, when I read that on the doc, I thought this was like, okay, this is 2 different Xboxes, right? And he just forgot a comment. No, oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's
Yep,
awful.
that's what it's called. The Xbox Backbone 1 Xbox Edition. Basically what this device is. So Backbone has always been one of those things where you can basically have your phone have the joystick, some buttons and stuff on the side so you can game with your phone. Is basically what this is. And you put your iPhone or your Android in, and it puts the controllers on the sides, kind of like make it look like a Switch. But this one is the Xbox Edition, so it basically will be green. Kind of see the see-through green, and it has an Xbox button on it, so if you can push that.
Seamless Xbox integration is how they're advertising that button on their site. What
Seamless. So
yeah, we've rebranded a button. Seamless integration.
So okay, I mean, yes. So what is this for? Let's be real. It's for the cloud gaming mainly, so you can cloud game, and because there's some games you can download like Minecraft and stuff to your actual phone, but this is probably mainly for the cloud gaming you can do. Since they have been pushing games, a lot of games that are available on the cloud, so I can see this being something they want to push. It does say that the design for I'm going to say it one more time, the Xbox Backbone 1 Xbox Edition works with USB-C based iPhones and Android devices running Android 6 or newer. It is available now in the US for $110.
You know what this tells me? Is that apparently nobody at Xbox has a backbone to tell whoever came up with this name that this is a stupid name.
Sad joke. Friggin' love it.
I'm sorry, guys. You couldn't realize, nobody recognized the fact that they're calling this device the Backbone 1. Slapping Xbox Edition on after that is going to make people think Xbox One, but that's not. Xbox One is last generate. I'm just going to, if you go to Backbone's website onto the marketing page for this device, it has a picture of the thing. It says Backbone 1 Xbox Edition. And then the first sentence of their ad copy says, "This is an Xbox." So your phone is an Xbox, listener.
Your phone's an Xbox.
I just added that to the worst tech name of the year list.
There you go. Your device you're listening to this on is an Xbox. You are an Xbox. Everyone is an Xbox.
There you go. Heck? Naming, man.
Amazing.
Naming. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Talk a little bit about some Minecraft. Microsoft is bringing brilliant visuals to Minecraft. So they did talk about this. They're basically saying that they're bringing these visuals, which adds a modern graphical effect like directional lighting, volumetric fog, reflections, and shadows while retaining the signature Minecraft pixelated look. So you can actually turn this on and off. This vibrant visuals.
So
cool, I think. All right.
Did they just steal the code from all the modders that have already had this working in Minecraft for literally years?
They didn't mention that, but I'm assuming that's probably what it is. But I mean, they're always adding something to Minecraft. So, but yeah, I figured I'd mention that. That's kind of one that came out. I know they Minecraft's had a little bit going on. They got the movie coming out here in a month, I guess. But yeah,
man, what cool is that movie even gonna be? I've watched the trailers. I'm still confused.
I am as well. I definitely want to watch it.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I have no idea morbidly curious. Even if it turns out to be a dumpster fire, I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Jack Black and Jason Momoa. It's got to be good.
It's true. It's gonna be funny.
It's got to be something there. But yeah, so that's all the gaming news that we have here. That we wanted to talk about, and it looks like that's at the end of the podcast here. Unless, Landon, do you got one more thing for us? Yahoo!
Yep. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Listener, I just have to mention, this isn't it. Well, okay, this is kind of news related, but in case you didn't catch on at the beginning of the podcast, this was an April Fool's prank that we did on Wes. I've been planning this for probably a year.
Really?
I actually brought
that, yeah.
I brought Caleb into it about 6 months ago. And that's when we decided, no, okay, we're going to do this on April 1st because it would be funny. Now, we're recording on the 30th of March. It is not April Fool's Day, but this will be released on April Fool's Day. And along with that, I have to mention, don't trust anything you see on the internet on April Fool's Day.
It's all fake.
Because-
it's all made up. More so than usual.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, a lot of the internet is made up as is, but even more.
The only thing that you might want to question is if it's real, is if it, is the White House has said this. That might actually be real, even though it looks like it could be an April Fool's thing. It might be real, but I'm not getting into politics. But
that is kind of how most of their posts read. Wait, is that an April Fool's joke? Oh no, no, it's not April. Oh,
so just be aware that it is going to be April 1st when you're listening to this or after, but just don't believe the majority of things you see on the internet on that day. That's just a general for every April Fool's Day. So there you go. That's my one more thing.
Were you really planning that for a whole friggin' year?
I've been planning this for a long
Holy
time.
cow.
Long time.
yes.
All right, fair enough. April Fools to me. That was funny. All of a sudden you start saying something. I'm like, wait, are you serious? Or all right.
Well, I also have to tell
that.
you, me and Caleb were talking before you got on today, Wes, and I used Gemini to come up with the podcast name that I did. And what I asked it was, what would be a good name for a tech news podcast that specifically does not talk about Microsoft?
I bet Gemini was really happy for you to get here. We will definitely tell you.
It actually gave me quite a few different options.
I bet it did.
And the first one, as it says, it is direct and clear. It is the Microsoft free tech podcast. Or another one that I enjoyed was Control Alt Delete Microsoft. Great.
Oh, okay, that one. Hey, you should put that in your back pocket. Actually, that's a pretty good one.
I do like that one. But listener, if you listened to the beginning, which I hope you did, we did go with the No Windows Required podcast because that was also quite good. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun planning and plotting this.
That's probably one we should do a segment of. For Windows 11, no Windows required when we have to talk about it if something comes up. Like when we talk about other platforms.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Caleb's gaming segment of play this instead. It's use this instead of Windows.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you should. Like that wouldn't be a bad one.
Just to cover some other options.
Yeah. Look at this, us thinking on the podcast on the fly.
We'll just go over a bunch of different Linux distros and what they do well.
Steam OS and whatnot.
Yep, I am so ready.
I'm so ready.
So ready for Steam OS.
Well, listener, we appreciate you listening to the end of this podcast. If you want to chime in on some of this Steam OS or anything, you can. You can get a hold of us on our social media platforms as well as callingalplatforms.com. If you want to leave a comment over on our YouTube channel about that as well, I'm sure Caleb would love to talk about Steam OS and make a YouTube video on it. If it's requested, I'm sure. Take a look at it, right?
Honestly, I really should. That's a really good idea. I should do that.
To be fair, Caleb's requesting that video because he wants to come out
true.
and then he can make a review on it.
Right?
I want an excuse so bad.
Oh, see? And you can do that. Check out our videos over there, over on YouTube. All right, dear listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.